Hello traders and welcome to the first practice video on order flow. There are two approaches that we can take to order flow, and it's typically best to blend both. We can take a more macro look where we're looking at the bigger picture. I'm using a higher time slice and I'm looking at more order book levels. Or we can zoom in and look a lot more concretely at just a few different prices. Today's practice is going to be on the macro, looking at the overall supply-demand picture. Now what I want you guys to do right now is to look at what price is doing right. Let me bring you to a good point. What price is doing right here, and to decide if this is bullish or if this is bearish. So I'm not going to reveal it right away, but I want you guys to look at this current big picture. I can show you guys some more levels as well. And tell me, is this pattern, what we see here, overall bullish or overall bearish from what you've learned? Okay, pause the video here because I am about to say the answer, or at least what I think is about to happen. This looks quite bullish to me. I see a large offer that was just canceled. That is pulled supply or subtracted supply. I'm seeing this bid grew in volume and also is shifted higher. This bid was shifted lower, but I think that this shift outweighs this shift because this one's much larger. This holding off, I mean not holding, but this large offer being canceled, I think we're going to see some bullish movement to the upside. So let's see. Yes, we do go up, as you can see here. And then what ended up happening is we see these bids here that were completely pulled and price begins to fall. Now at this point in time, let's look here. So price just rapidly fell and now it's rising. This overall, does this seem bullish or does this seem bearish to you guys? What do you guys think? This big picture here. I'm going to zoom in to show you guys a little bit more. Doesn't really change much, but you can see the depth here and the depth here. Okay, so there's some spoofing going on, some spoof bids that are going all over the place. Does this feel more bullish or bearish to you guys? I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds. Yeah, so price does begin to fall a little bit. Okay, especially because this is interesting. This large bid cluster was canceled and price fell as a result of the pulled demand. Now we can see price is rising. Now we can see the holding offer here was canceled, likely because it was placed lower. Now this is interesting. We see a large offer cluster here that did have an impact on price, as you can see there. Now overall, do you guys think that this is more bearish or more bullish? I would say that this is more bearish in the short term. I think that we are going to fall, and we do fall. The reason I said that when we were here is I identified that we had a bid cluster that was canceled. We have an offer cluster that actually grew in volume, and price falls as a result of the shifting supply and demand. Now we also remember the 8,600 level is a round price level. This is a level where we're probably going to have many stop losses just below. So let's see if price can reach below that 8,600, and it does, as you can see there. And do you guys think, this is interesting, do you guys think that price is going to continue hunting liquidity a bit lower, hitting stop losses of longs and then rise, or do we think that price is just going to rise immediately? I'm more inclined to say that price is going to fall a little bit more. I think that this overall structure looks like it's going to be a little bit more bearish. And you can see price did fall a little bit more. Price fell down to 85.94. Now overall here, I can see that we had a large bid cluster added, right? Now, does this look short-term bearish, medium-term bullish, or do you guys think something different? So I want you guys to look at this current order flow and tell me what you guys think of this. Okay, to me this looks short-term bearish, at least short-term bearish. And yep, we do see bearishness. This pull bid did tell me that, that it was likely that this was going to happen, as you can see. Now here's the interesting thing. What do you guys think is going to happen if price reaches here? Answer that right now. Okay, what I think may happen is either price will just clear these bids and just go lower, or price may use a deflection, which is something we can trade, where price goes here, deflects off of it, and then continues to go lower. I think that both of those are scenarios that can occur if price reaches the 85.92. So let's see if we can see price get down there. So exactly what happened. Look at this, guys. It deflected off of this level. This would have been a beautiful place to a short, and then it falls below, right? So this would have been an opportunity for when you see a deflection and price beginning to go a bit up to have shorted here and then maybe take profit a bit lower. This would be a very short-term scalp though. All right, let's look at some more big picture levels as you can see here. We can see that we have some large bidding here. It's going to be interesting to see if these ever cancel or get shifted or get added in more volume. All right, so we see a large offer here, but we see some bids here that are climbing higher. What do you guys make of this? I would say that this is overall bullish, this overall pattern. We can see that we do fall a bit, but I still think that we're probably going to be rising soon. And we do. So I did see price fell first, but I think that this strong spoofing, there are definitely some traders who definitely want to buy here. Now we can see that the holding offer just got canceled, and we have an offer a little bit, not holding offer, but the large offer just got canceled. We just got an offer placed higher. What do you guys make of this? Also, the bid cluster here was canceled. Do you think, I'm going to ask a more specific question here. Do you think the price is going to fall into, around these levels and then rise? Do you think that that's a likely scenario? Or do you think the price is just going to rise right now? Or do you think something else is going to occur? All right, let's go see what happened. Yeah, so price does fall into the zone that we had indicated. Now at this zone right here, you can see price goes a bit higher. We can see a large offer cluster that was added and then pulled and then partially executed upon here. We see a large bid that was placed here as well. This pattern to me looks overall, I'm not stuttering, I'm waiting for you guys to answer it before I say it. This pattern to me looks overall, I would say, a little bit more bullish than bearish. I'd be even inclined, if I was trading this live and I saw price begin to fall a little bit lower, I'd be very, very happy to place bid around here and try to get a long position around this range here. Because this pattern does look overall bullish and we are rising right now, which would be unfortunate because we would have wanted to buy around here, but this looks quite good. Okay, now what we just saw is this offer was canceled and potentially placed higher or placed lower, either one. We see a large offer that's beginning to be transacted upon, and we also see an offer placed here. Does this feel more bearish or more bullish to you guys? Looking at the big picture. We also see that guy coming in. Not that big though. Yeah, I mean, I think that this right now looks bearish. We can see that this was canceled, but look at the amount of offers that we have here. This is putting pressure on price to go lower, as you can see here. I think that it might not be a terrible idea at this current kind of scenario. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm thinking. The 8,600 level may contain some stop losses. Potentially placing a bid in this area may work. Let's go see what happens. But of course, it's dependent on how the order flow changes before price gets here, or even if price gets here, All right, let's see. Okay, so price just reached the zone. My zone here where I'm thinking about potentially slotting in a bid is around 85.95. Price is at 85.95. Let's go take a look at, is this a good idea to place bids a bit lower and to try to enter into a long position? Okay. Analyze the order flow here and tell me if you think it's a good idea to place bids here. There is a correct answer here. All right, so either you just place your bids there or you just didn't. Let's see what would have happened. Yeah, the correct answer is yes. It would have been a pretty good spot to have placed bids around the 85.93, 85.94, 85.95 because price does go here, it fills it, and then price rises. Now on BitMEX, remember that you receive a 0.025% rebate for each limit order that you use. So had you entered around, let's say 93 on your average, 86.93, and you get out at around 86.03, that is an increase of about 0.12% by my math, 0.11%. But if we add the rebates that we receive from limit orders, that would actually be a gain in equity of about 0.15, 0.16. 0.16 really, because 0.05% plus 0.11 is around 0.16. Basically, had you traded with $100,000, you would have made 160 off of that price move. Okay, interesting. That would have been a cool trade to take. And remember, we're using more of a macro approach here. This entire video is going to be increasing your pattern recognition of locating good trades and also of locating the more macro structure instead of looking at micro, where we zoom in on, like a 2-minute time slice and we analyze what's happening in the short term. All right, let's go forward and let's make some other trading ideas. Okay, guys? So let me go to here. Let's see how we can place bids and offers to take advantage of any of this. You are currently in this market. Now, you have an idea of whether this is bullish or bearish. Let me go a little bit forward in time. Do you guys think that this is more of a bullish pattern or more of a bearish pattern? Okay, to me, I think medium-term bullish, short-term bearish, I would say. I think in the medium term, we are eventually going to clear this bid level. But what I want to see is price to pull back a bit to potentially look to place our bids at lower prices, such as somewhere around here potentially, around the 85.70s. That's one spot we could look at. But let's go see what the order flow does in the future. All right, so we're seeing a lot of pressure being put on this 86.10 wall, as you can see here. More pressure. We get a deflection where, remember, a deflection is when you actually touch a wall and then you go, you bounce off the wall and then you eventually rise through the wall. So I would really love to, okay, now we're really deflecting. So do you guys think at this point in time, what should we have done in the past? Well, let's go back. Let's go back in time. Let's go take a look at this, at what was going on. So we saw that price was here, and we decided that, I decided that maybe a good idea to bid around the 85.70s. Price never even got to the 85.70s. It only got to the 85.80s. We're putting a lot of pressure on that 86.10, a lot. And if I zoom in a bit, you can see that there are these other bid walls that are close to price. Market buying versus market selling, I see a dominance of the market buys over the market sells. I'm just seeing more buying than I am seeing selling. I'm also finally seeing a deflection off this wall. We're buying into it and then deflecting off. With all of this added together, guys, I think it's not a terrible idea to have placed bids somewhere around here so that you could catch deflection and then catch the profit as price rises, as you can see here. Now we can see just an incredible amount of spoofing that has just occurred. Let's zoom in a little bit and let's see if we can actually make some money off of all of this shenanigans that's occurring. Okay, so price just rose. Imagine that we are in this or we're not in this right now. There is currently a blank pressure. Do you think that there is bullish pressure or bearish pressure at this current moment? I would say that there is more bullish pressure. We see some added demand, but I really want to see how this added demand influences price. Yeah, price rises. That does make sense because due to the added demand and the bullish pressure. We also see a large bid cluster at around a holding bid right there. So it looks like there's a good amount of bullish pressure. Okay, let's see here. So it looks like the bid wall did remain and it was filled. And now we're just getting potentially some stop loss hunts of just going above previous highs. Now, I want you guys, I'm going to pause here, I'm going to stop fast forwarding, and tell me, do you guys think that this is overall bearish or overall bullish? I have to be honest, this one is a little bit tougher because we're not really seeing much action here per se. But looking at the structure, what do you guys make of this? Look at the macro. Try not to look at the micro here. Personally, I would call this more bearish at this current point in time. I think short term, I'm more confident in a bearish analysis and price does go down. So why did I say that? Well, the reason I said bearish when price was here, we see a strong offer. We see some offers here, offers here. I'm beginning to see some more market sells. It's just telling me that price is likely going to fall. Now, are we seeing the buyers come back at all? Let's see. Is there any interesting bid movement that we see down here? What is your guys' idea here? One thing that I do want to tell you guys, I'm actually going to first ask you guys, but there is a previous support that could become future resistance. Where is that previous support? Previous support was here, right? This is previous support, which could become future resistance at around there. So that's something that we want to watch. Now, if price goes up to here, it may not be a terrible idea to place sell orders around there. Let's see. So price just reached the area that we had indicated, and then it falls. Well, why did this happen? Well, this is because previous support became future resistance and price fell. So that was a little bit of a price action kind of technique that we could have used to layer in limit sell orders and then take profit when price went lower. Now, let's look at this order flow right here. Is this bullish or is this bearish? This one, again, looks a bit tough, but I think that we can reason this one out and really find what to do in this situation. What do you guys think? Well, I do want you guys to identify what's going on here. We see that the offer was just placed lower. However, at the same time, this bid just grew in order depth. So we have added demand and supply that was shifted a bit lower, right? Let me clear these drawings. For this, I'm more inclined to say bullish. I'm more inclined to say bullish just because we currently see a large best bid and we see added demand here. This offer being shifted lower is going to make things interesting though. And price did rise in the short term, as you can see, but right now it looks like price is falling right now, as you can see. So short term we were bullish. Looks like a little bit more medium term we were bearish. This overall trend is a downtrend, as you can see, but let's keep looking out for any potential trading opportunities or analysis that we can make. Do you guys think, what do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to get a deflection off this level where price goes down, goes back up and then goes through it? Do you think that that is a reasonable scenario? Or do you guys think that something else may occur? Do you think that we may rise into these levels here? One of these will be right. Do you think that that first price is going to visit here or price is going to visit around here above these highs? All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, so price first does go a little bit higher. Why? Well, I see some strong bids being added here, and these bids remain strong and actually grow in size, some added demand, and price rises. However, now we see a lot of blank space. I was about to say, we see a lot of blank space. Look at this, guys. As price was rising, I'm seeing so much blank space of just not much bidding. This is very, very dangerous. This is a scenario where price can just easily fall. And price does fall, as you can see here, due to all of that blank space. Now, remember, what do we think about that 8,600 level, guys? Tell me about it. Well, we know that there are likely many stop losses right below 8,600, meaning that it might not be a terrible idea to think about placing bids just below 8,600, right? Now, we do need to look at the order flow, though. Okay, so it looks like a bid cluster was just added at the spot where we were thinking about even placing our own bid. Now, what do you guys make of this? Is this momentum ignition on the offer? Do you guys think that this is momentum ignition and price is going to fill these levels? And I'm going to ask you guys a pretty tough question. If you think that this is momentum ignition and this is momentum ignition just to fill these bids, where do we want to bid? I'm going to give you a hint by doing this. Where do we want to place our bids? I can tell you my answer. All right, make your estimate right now, guys, because I'm about to show you. Yeah, I think that it's probably not a horrendous idea to bid right below. This is a little bit more complicated. You may think, why would you want to bid below a large bid? Well, the reason is this could be momentum ignition with the purpose of filling this order. So when price falls and it hits many stops, we could get filled on a beautiful, beautiful reversal. I do think that there is a lot of bearish pressure right there. And we got a deflection. Okay, so this could actually offer us another trading opportunity. Interesting. Do you guys think that it would be a good idea to put limit sells here, limit sells here, limit sells here, and try to get filled on price deflecting and likely falling right through it? Okay, let's look. Price looks to make another deflection here. Do you want to think about your offers that are around the 86.10 to 86.12? Let's see if they get filled. So it looks like some of them are getting filled, as you can see here. And looks like all of them would have been filled right there. Okay. So at this point in time, imagine that we had seen some deflections and we had shorted at around these price levels here. Do we think that we want to keep this short on or just take the loss? Well, my answer would be I'd want to see a little bit more information first before I make any decision whatsoever. And it looks like we are in the current time, as you can see right here. Interesting. So what this means is that all of that was back-tested information where you and I were just looking at what was occurring, but now we are in the present. So let's look at the macro structure of just what's going on here. I currently see a large amount of bearish pressure being put on price. I also see a good amount of blank space here, just like we saw blank space here. So I would say if I was short at around 86.12 to 86.13, I would probably want to keep my short. The only reason where I might not want to keep this short is if I see offers canceled and bids remain. Then I might want to just take a small, 0.1%, 0.15% loss and move on to another trading opportunity. What I would love to see in this short that we are currently hypothetically in is I would love to see these bids canceled and price to fall with an aggressive best offer and strong market selling. That would make me quite confident that the sellers are fully in control. Now, I still see that blank space there, so we can see price go a little bit lower. It could rip through this blank space and hit this holding bid right here and continue to go a little bit lower. All right, so we're seeing a large amount of depth right here on the offers, and I would have been pretty happy with my short around here. At this current point in time, I would have been pretty happy that we had shorted around 86.12 to 86.13. Seems fun. Seems good. And price continues to fall as we had predicted. Now, what's going to happen, guys? We're approaching that holding bid. What's going on here? Let me take a slightly less macro approach. Let's zoom in a little bit more on the micro. Still, we're going to get that big picture view that I want to have the focus of this video on, but we're looking at a 20-minute time slice. All right, let me just make this a little bit more macro, a little bit more big picture. So currently, we would have been in profit for a short, not by a lot though. As you can see here, these offers do remain, so these offers are around the same in volume. They haven't really changed much. And price is stalling. We could look at the micro to see if price in the short term would rise or would fall. But like I'd said, let's just look at the more zoomed out big picture approach. Is this about to rise through all this empty space and then fall back down? Because it looks like what may just happen soon is something like that. That wouldn't be crazy to me. When would price start falling? Well, I think the price would start falling when we see a large amount of offers getting added to the market. Until we see a lot of offers being added, I think price will probably just keep going up. But if I can see offer being added all around here, then price will probably fall. Let's see. All right, so price is rising into that empty space of lack of offers, and it looks like the sellers aren't ready to put on the full pressure yet. Again, if I was short at the 86.12 to 86.13, I wouldn't want to take a loss until we go any higher. It's been a pretty slow rise here. Not really much going on. Now, there's something interesting that's happening with the market buying versus the market selling. What do you guys notice about the recent market buying versus the recent market selling? Look here. I'm not seeing a lot of market buying. I'm seeing a lot more market selling. I just don't see a lot of market buying here. I see a good amount of selling on this supply run, and really not much buying on this demand run. Which means that if we see those offers added, I think the price will just fall. Again, if we saw a lot of market buying, what that would tell me is even if we saw offers added, price could still rise. But with this kind of structure, I do think, unless we see a large market buy, that price may be falling soon as those offers come back and spoof price lower. All right, what just happened? This is another scenario that just happened at around the 85.97, 85.96 bid cluster. Tell me what just happened. This is a bid cluster shift up. So we see that that cluster was shifted up a little bit. Does that mean much? Well, that's up to you to decide. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to end this video soon. I don't want to spend, the next 30 minutes staring at this chart and waiting for price to drop. I do think that if I was in that hypothetical short at around the 86.13, that I would just hold this short because I'm confident price will fall. And I'd probably want to take profit around the 85.80s or the 85.90s. Okay, now that we see the offers added, this makes me a lot less inclined to just end the video because I really want to see this bearish pressure paying off for us. Looks like there's some empty space lower. We see some bid cancellations there. Look at that. These bids were canceled. These guys were canceled here. We see this bid still present. This 1.24 million bid, which was placed here, he's still here. Big cluster shift up. Short-term bid that was placed here that didn't really do much because it was below a large bid cluster. And we're seeing price fall. Really not much action occurring, but we see more market selling on that little drop than we saw market buying on that little rise. All right, guys, I think for real this time, I'm going to end this video. I do think that price is going to fall. And remember to always have a very solid macro approach to order flow. Remember, macro is doing something like this, where we zoom out and we just look at the overall big picture. Micro is looking more at just the best bid, the best offer, surrounding bids, surrounding offers, and then going from there. You need to have both approaches down pat if you're going to be a successful order flow trader, because then you can predict the short term with micro and the medium term with macro. This is a beautiful, interesting order flow pattern that I think that there are countless ways you can make money off of this. But that will be for another video. See you guys next time.